Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. It's a damn fine day. Talk about a book. Today is February 5th, and we're here for a book review. We're going to talk about Little Eve by Catriona Ward. This is my fourth Ward read. I thought it was her first novel. There's some weirdness that happened there. This was originally released in 2018, and at least from my perspective, and probably from Americans' perspective, I'm speaking loosely here. Ward, came on the scene in 2021 with the release of Needless Street, the last house on Needless Street, and then Sundial came in 22, and Looking Glass Sound in 23, and then this book, I believe, has been republished at least over here, because on the back of this it shows those three books that I just mentioned. So I thought this was the first one and the last one for me as far as the ones I had to read. But in reading this, I found that there's even an earlier novel from 2015 called I think The Girl from Raw Blood. It's supposed to be another gothic type tale. So that book's on the way to me. And then after that one, I'll be able to say that I am up to date on Catriona Ward. She has become one of my favorites. And it's crazy because I did not love Needless Street. Not really when I read it. Now, but of course that's one of those books that sticks with you, and you think about it and think about it. Like, to me, the way Needless, she uses a lot of twists. So to me, the way Needless Street like pulled that off, I mean, it really jerks the rug out from under you. And to be honest, I was kind of angry. I mean, I was kind of angry with the way Needless Street was all pulled together. So, but that said, I loved Sundial. I mean, I really liked Sundial. I a 4 to 4.5 star like Sundial. Looking Glass Sound, which is the most recent one, has been my favorites. 4.5 star liked Looking Glass Sound. And this one, I was ready to say I like this book. But I think it's my least favorite of the four. I don't know, because in thinking about that, I'm coming back to all those feelings I had about Needless Street. But so I like this book. I mean, it's a gothic castle story mixed with cult stuff. We'll get into that. But I don't like it anywhere near as much as Looking Glass Sound or Sundial. Needless Street, I'm on the fence about. So I'm at 3.5 stars on this book. So let's get a little bit of synopsis, and I'll kind of get an idea of where I can take this and what I can share. The front says a wonderful literary gothic tale. That was Sarah Pembroke that said that. But this won the Shirley Jackson Award for Best Novel. And somewhere I read that like this novel didn't come out to like great acclaim, didn't sell a ton of copies. And then I believe it won I thought it won the Stoker, but maybe it won the Shirley Jackson Award. But yeah, and then after that it kind of blew up a little bit. But New Year's Eve 1921, on the wind-battered Isle of Altnahara, I believe that's right, off the wildest coast of Scotland, a clan prepares to bring about the end of the world and its imminent rebirth. The Adder is coming, and one of their numbers will inherit its powers, sorry. They all want the honor, but young Eve is willing to do anything for the distinction. A reckoning beyond Eve's imagination begins when Chief Inspector Black arrives to investigate a brutal murder, and their sacred ceremony goes terribly wrong. And soon, all the secrets of Altnahara will be uncovered. Little Eve is a heart-pounding tale of faith and family with a devastating twist. So she does that again. There's the devastating twist that is kind of Ward's specialty, I guess I will say that synopsis gave us nothing. It gave us really not a lot to work for. So the way the book opens, so first of all, we're in Scotland. We're off the coast of Scotland. We are on an island. We're in an island castle that is only connected to the mainland by this causeway. And I had to look up what a causeway is. And I still don't fully know, but it makes it sound like it's a stone path or a a bridge, so to speak, but almost at the water level, right? And so, like, even if you're crossing it at low tide, like the water might be lapping at your feet a little bit. Like, you can get across, but like, so much so that like the horses don't want to step off the shore onto the causeway because it looks like they're stepping into the damn water. That's the way I took it. That's a lot. I mean, I'm heavily interpreting this thing, but so for me, like at high tide, it's impassable. I don't know, but causeway goes up to the gates of this place, and there's a rundown derelict. I mean, that's the way I took it. Castle there that these people have really through no like inheritance or right have kind of laid claim to, and it's this weird conglomeration of Eve and her sister Dinah and her brother Abel, and there's another small girl. There's 4 kids. Well, so it said 6. I think it said 6. Anyway, at one point there's 4 kids, 2 women, and a man. And Eve refers to the man as her uncle, and he's just this weird religious cult leader. I mean that just kind of treats everybody like shit, but under the guise of religion, right? Under the guise of being pure, and everyone on the mainland is impure. And I mean, the girls get to go to school somewhat, which I mean, but then that kind of gets shut down, and they're pulled back to the island, and you get this idea that either one, like initially, I got the idea that these children were abducted, or not abducted, but these children were just kind of taken from like orphanages or like the unwanted, like let's say maybe the unwanted children of a prostitute or something. I mean, you get the idea that no one here is really related. Um, or the 2 women on the island are just producing these children. I mean, there's a lot of very, very underspoken. So I say that not detailed, but there is this idea of ongoing sexual abuse from Uncle with the girls as well. And again, it's understated, but yeah. So I mean, it's this dark, weird cult. Again, we're in a castle. There's these standing stones or circle of stones. I mean, I pictured it like a mini Stonehenge, so to speak, where the cult practices and rituals and all that are done. There's this idea of snake handling, like they have a adder, a poisonous snake, on site as part of their um, rituals. And there's this prophecy of a snake rising up out of the water to end the world, and we're gonna bring that about. Like our little unhappy family is gonna bring that about. So yeah, I mean, Gothic, castle, Scotland, cult, like all that shit added together to me equals gold mine, really. But there's a lot of between the way that Catriona writes, which is so we find out at one point our characters have kind of been like basically constantly drugged, through this honey that Uncle feeds the girls. This honey is causing them to hallucinate or have these visions or have these experiences that he sells as being religious experiences. He sells them as being, part of the religious stuff. But we find out that it's really this honey stuff. So that's going on. So what I'm saying is on some level our narrators are always a bit unreliable. Some of that is the way Ward is writing it to, and some of it is the fact that they're young, they're drugged, they're half starved most of the time, they're abused most of the time, and so there's all of that going on. I mean, it's definitely a cool story. Some of the unreliable narrator stuff kind of drug out for me a bit, kind of, but I definitely liked it. I'm definitely a huge fan of Ward's work. I'm definitely going to keep up with her stuff going forward. And there's only a few people like on that list right now that I feel that way about. That I would. I mean, I would say that if I put together my top 10 current living horror authors, I mean, Ward is on that list, maybe even into the top five. I mean, I like her stuff so much that I anticipate whatever's coming next. And again, there's not a lot of people on that list. I mean, there's not a lot of people that I feel that way. Most people, I just so and so put out a new book. Well, I've read a couple of theirs. I liked, but she is one of the ones that I definitely am going to keep up with. So, yeah, 3.5 stars for me. And again, I've said it before, and I hate being repetitive, but Gothic Castle, Scotland, Cult, vile stuff done to kids. I mean, do I? I mean, I like horror. I like. It's horrible to say horror involving children. I mean, is it? I don't like that stuff, but it's you know what I mean. It turns pages, I guess. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I don't know what it was. So yeah, it's 3.5 stars for me. This is Little Eve by Catriona Ward. One more coming. The Girl from Raw Blood will be here when it gets here from whoever I bought it from on eBay, and we'll do that one, within the next month, so we can put Catriona Ward to bed. So for me, because I like to keep this constant tally, Looking Glass Sound is number one. Sundial is a very, very close second. And to be honest with you, it's so close that I don't know if Looking Glass Sound takes it because it's the most recent one that I've read. Man, I'm gonna put Need the Street. Need the Street was great, but I just was pissed at the end. I'm gonna put Need the Street slightly in front of this one for now, and I'm gonna put Little Eve as my least, but still very, very much liked read by Ward. So, and maybe that's just the case because basically what I've done is I've given you the books in order, as far as most recent being my favorite, going back to this one. So the one that's coming is her very, very first novel, 2015. We'll see. We'll see if it kind of continues with that, uh, I guess, method as far as recent favorite. But we'll see. And maybe it'll just blow my mind and knock them all off the top. So, Little Eve Catriona Ward, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.